this is another whack job topic kind of episode. So, the obligatory, I'm not insane at the beginning, but, you know, any insane people, one, don't know they're insane, and two, if an insane person came up to you and said, I'm not insane, that makes you think they're more insane, but just trust me on this one. Simply life is just like, you know, the process of being an organic, like, being type thing, being a being, pretty much, and existing as, you know, like some kind of life force, be it, you know, a dog, a person, a bug, an amoeba, whatever it is, just life is, you know, that existing in that state of something that lives, pretty much, which is a very convoluted way to explain it, but it's too difficult to go into any other way of saying, you know, life is living as something that lives, pretty much. So that's like really simply. But what if, despite that being what it is to us and the species nearest to us, similar at least, there's a whole like different category for things kind of different that say other things like the entire planet as a whole, that type, is living in a different way as one being. So this topic of this video is sort of, you know, Gaia and the whole theory type religious belief. I think it's a religious belief or concept that perhaps Earth exists as a, you know, singular life force, as one giant, great cosmic being type thing. Idea that's been around for like fucking ever, and I think, but don't quote me, its origins are sort of in the pagan Celtic traditions from thousands and thousands of years ago, where they believe that the Earth as a whole is its own energy source. It's a living being, basically, you know, the whole Mother Earth type thing. And Gaia, I think it was the Greeks who called it Gaia, so that's where the name comes from. That's what I will refer to it as. But the general gist of the idea is that everything on Earth is a part of one huge being, and for the sake of simplicity, just imagine it as, you know, a personified person, a human being living out as a human, but it's not. It functions in a different way, so that's why they say, that's why it sounds sort of abstract and peculiar to think about, and you want to, you know, refuse that it exists, because, you know, it exists in a complete different plane compared to how we can understand that, say, a dog is living, because yes, it's slightly different, it's not entirely different, you know, it still has a heart and lungs and a brain, but what if there's a whole other realm of that same type of thing where it consists of different organs or organic matter that cause functioning life, and the Earth has all that, and, you know, what if it's the ground and the air and the water and all these elements and whatever else there is deep in the Earth's core that we don't know about are actually allowing it to live and is living? What if it's not just a rock floating in space, hurtling at thousands of kilometers an hour into nothing, but rather something alive and perhaps even sentient, you know, that is conscious and functions for a purpose rather than just being, or rather than just existing, pretty much. What if it is, you know, not human in a sense, but alive in a sense? It sounds ridiculous, but then it's out there, but it's not completely obscure, because it would, you know, kind of give way to explanations for sort of phenomena, but then it also opens even further ridiculous doors, that if the Earth is alive, then what about the moon, what about every other planet, what about the stars? And, you know, it seems more comforting just to decline it exists and move on, because it's just such a mind-boggling thing. But what if, you know, it is true? And I'm not saying it isn't, I'm not saying it is, I'm just putting it out there, that perhaps it is, you know, sort of a living thing with needs and with like essential things it has to do, and it does, and it has cycles, and it has moods, and it has a way, like a motive and a purpose, and it does that all because of these things amassed, and not just because of circumstances that allow them to happen. You know, it doesn't rain because chemically something in the clouds and the water on Earth has caused it to rain. It rains because something in the energy has caused it to rain. or an earthquake doesn't happen because just out of tectonic movement. That tectonic movement is caused by maybe a disruption in the aura or the energy of things. So I know, of course, it sounds absolutely bonkers, but it's not entirely out there, even though it is quite out there. So I just wanted to put that there because it's something that I sometimes I believe in it, sometimes I don't, and there are lots of things that posit the idea further, and then there are lots of things that completely deny it. So I don't know, and it's not a harmful belief to have. Like, even if it is, say one day it were proven to be completely true, like untrue, it came out like one day, no, this is not true, and it was confirmed with like science and shit that it wasn't true. Even if you held this belief, it wouldn't be as harmful as if you had some other beliefs, because it's one of the good type of belief systems, because say if you have like, you believe in certain religions, I won't name any names, but if you believe in certain religions, you have the good, but then you have the bad, because then you end up having these things that certain religions don't like and criticize and condemn. But if you follow this sort of belief system, and then in the end it turned out not to be true, the only thing you've really done is take better care of the earth and be respectful and an environmentalist. So it's not like it's not like you've stoned the gays or anything, is it? It's reasonably okay, I guess. So you don't need to believe it, but just posit it and like think about it, and maybe if you want to run with it, because it definitely can. I know that it definitely could be a way to improve your well-being, because the earth, and going by traditional medicinal purpose and process, is a very healthy way to live. So just give it some thought, and maybe spend some time outside and think about it, and sort of like try to manifest the ideology, perhaps, and question it, because question the earth and question the things around you, because you never know. Honestly, you do not know. It could be a completely sentient human-like figure, just in a different mold. It could be the same thing, just working in a different way, doing the same thing differently, but we can't know. So we've got to give it a sort of attempt at wanting to believe in it. So just try it, I suppose. I've definitely had certain days where I like to try it, and I like to try it and sort of affirm these beliefs on the days after equinoxes. When a season ends at nightfall and the next season begins at sunrise, when summer ends and then autumn begins, I think, that you get that date. I like to posit on that evening when it kind of feels like the seasons are no longer in realm, and it's sort of just Gaia's energy sort of paused, because there's no season, there's no like confirmed energy running. It's just kind of a wild card, a few hours between nightfall and sunrise, when nothing is entirely governed, so to speak. I know that sounds kind of wacky, and it is definitely sort of a crackpot theory, but there's no harm in it. Just give it a try, I guess. In the only outcome from it is you get more supportive of healthy living on Earth and healthy treatment of Earth. So